Welcome to another edition of the For the Love of Creatives podcast. I am your connections and community guy, host Dwight, and on the line with me today is our other connections and community guy, host Maddox. And today we are joined by the amazing Amanda Austin. Hey, Amanda.
Hello. Hi. I'm so excited to
Welcome,
be here.
Amanda.
Thank you. What a treat.
We're so glad that you could grace us with your presence. You have done a number of amazing and wonderful, funny and fun things. But I would love for you to tell our audience just a little bit about who you are and what you're about.
Oh,
Sure.
and
Thank you.
how you guys met, how you guys know each other. We love to share
Yes.
how we came about being together for this.
I think that's the most important part is how we met because it's one of the things that inspires a lot of what I do and what you all do. Dwight and I are in the Business Council for the Arts Leadership Arts Institute cohort for 25-26. Say that three times fast. So we are in this cohort together where we are learning more about our arts community here in DFW and also working on projects that are smaller within the group to help other nonprofits there grow their business side of the arts, which can sometimes be tricky. So we're getting to tour lots of different places, learn lots of things, meet each other, and that's how we know each other. So we kicked that off in September, I believe, or August.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And yeah, August, September, and then we will wrap up in May. So that's how we know each other. And I was very drawn to that program and had been for several years. And now I just had more of the bandwidth to take it on because I've spent most of my life involved in the arts one way or the other. Um, Most recently, I owned the Dallas Comedy House for just under 12 years. We closed during COVID because a fun thing about business is that you have to be open to make money. And that is one of the driving forces of staying open. And so we had just done quite an expansive remodel on a location. And so I shut that down for because of COVID during 2020. But that was kind of my most recent foray into the arts. And I love live theater, I love comedy. Now I actually take those tenets of improvisation and collaboration, as well as some of my education, and teach companies how to work together collaboratively and not competitively, and how to be innovative, and all while having fun. Because I do believe laughter is a incredible tool for bringing people together, and nobody wants to go to some kind of corporate training workshop that's boring and they're not going to remember it. So I try to make it valuable and fun. And that's what I spend the bulk of my time doing. I'm also a realtor, which sounds like it's not creative at all, but I can tell you, you can get really creative when you're putting together contracts for real estate. And that's what I do. And I teach also at SMU. I teach a class at the business school. So that's who I am and what I do now. I grew up in dance. So actually my first love was in dance, and danced competitively all growing up and did theater as well. So I've never been able to get out of the performing arts. It just I'm so drawn to it, and I do believe there's such a great place for it in the world. So yeah, that's my short bio. You can ask me what my favorite color is or my astrological sign or anything else. It's fine. It's all fair game.
It's very diverse.
It is.
It's all over
It
the map. I love that.
it is all over the map, and I sometimes would struggle with the fact that it was all over the map because I thought that that could be confusing to people. And now I just lean in because these are the things that I'm interested in, and I pursue them, and I try to deliver the best work I can when I'm doing it and also have fun.
And that's a beautiful thing. I'm a firm believer in that you have to just embrace what it is that you're really into, like what really
Yeah.
fills your heart.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're just going to follow the same boring, drab script that everyone expects, and
Yeah.
yeah, that is just
No,
there's
life's too
enough of that.
short. Life's too short to, I mean, you've got to do some of the boring stuff. We all need to probably clean our house every once in a while, do some laundry, pay our taxes. Other than that, though, like we can have fun. Like there's no reason why we can't
Yeah.
be having more fun.
My new mantra is to focus on what brings me joy.
I
People,
love that.
activities, places. Yeah.
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 I love it. And it doesn't have to be big things that can bring you joy. It can be very little things. I was just talking to somebody about this. I love to travel a lot. And they're like, what's your most like fun adventure recently. And it wasn't a bit, I mean, I've had some really fun trips, but I was in my hometown a few weeks ago for a funeral and I was with my best friend and we pulled over, it was on a Thursday night, into the parking lot of the Broadway Square Mall in Tyler, Texas, because they had a pop-up carnival and we were in funeral clothes and we just like got out, parked the car, bought tickets and just hopped on a bunch of rides. And to me, like that's really, I mean, we just did, I mean, I was in high heels and found some sneakers in the car. She's wearing a dress. I mean, we were not dressed to go to a mall parking lot carnival, but to me, like those fun, like joyful adventures are actually what it's all about.
I
Well,
love
that's
that.
Yeah. I mean, they
Oh,
were scary as hell. Let me tell you something. Those rides were hanging on by a thread. There was a 16-year-old controlling it saying, you're going to be fine. But we did it and we had the videos to prove it and we made it out. But, you know, it's fun. Like, just might as well.
love that. So I'm really curious what it's like going into spaces where you are introducing people to just the concept of embracing what it is to be real, to be a full, complete person, where they're maybe used to following something safe and standard, and just generally trying to stay in their lane and not upset people.
Oh, wow. That's a great question. You know, you usually see two different types of people in those rooms. The people that are they've been wanting to try something new and they've been wanting to get outside of their comfort zone and then they see this as an actual opportunity or they're at work and they're being paid, told or voluntold to be there and they're just like so excited and then they go in and they are all in. Then there's also this group of people. Let me put my coffee down because I did a little reenactment and they're sitting in the back of the room with their arms shrugged or they're on their phone and they're not paying attention at all because they either think I'm too good for this. I also think sometimes they're terrified of it because people get really nervous if they think they aren't going to crush something. Like they want to be able to do something really well. And the thought of doing something where you have to be present in the moment, there is no script, can be quite terrifying to people. So that's always my goal is to win those people over. And if I don't, it's fine, but
I would vote that it's more terrified than the other.
it probably is.
Yeah.
It really is. And like even, you know, you all were talking about, hey, we don't have a plan for the I mean, you have a plan for the podcast, but you don't have a list of 27 questions that you have to get through with every guest. And that can sound terrifying to people. Then I would just argue, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Or alternatively, what's the best that could happen?
Yeah.
I mean, the best that can happen is that we have a hell of a lot of fun during this time together and we learn more, and that's it. That's the best that can happen.
You know, Amanda, it's interesting that you say that because we've completed something like low 50s now conversations for this podcast.
Hmm.
Episode number 51 drops this coming Monday.
Okay.
And there has only been one person that agreed to be on the podcast and then reached out in advance wanting to know if I could send them all of the questions. And I said, no, that would kill the whole spirit of the podcast. First of
Yeah.
all, I don't have any questions formulated and I won't have questions formulated. But second of all, if I sent them to you and you worked out all these answers, now it's just a scripted, who wants to listen to that?
No. You know, there's probably a time and space for that, not for this, not
Yeah.
for not for the entire purpose of this podcast.
Right.
The
Well, and
spontaneity is what makes this special. You know,
I
you
love it.
don't know you're going to get asked that question, then all of a sudden you're really drilling down and thinking, or the spontaneous stuff that comes out of people's mouths. Oh my gosh, I
I mean,
love it.
I can't imagine. Well, I'm glad that you didn't send me any questions. I didn't even look. I actually didn't even look for any questions. I would prefer for there to not be any, and let's just roll with it and see what happens.
yeah. Well, along those lines, a burning question for me with someone as multifaceted as you are, and having to have to pivot so many times and just deal with what comes. What is it that you've had to lean into in order to be prepared for each next challenge?
Well, a couple of things. I'll say what's coming to mind now, and then there might be something that comes to mind in a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Tactically speaking, you got to be really good at your calendar. Like you have to know, you have to, and I have a couple of calendars, and so I've had to merge them all. And that sounds so silly. If you are juggling a lot of different things and have, what some, I guess, call like a portfolio career, you got to know who you got to be talking to, where you got to be, you've got to know. And so I have to be really good with my calendar. And sometimes I'm not, but I really have to focus on that every week. So that's like a technical thing. But I think the bigger picture is, and it comes back to a lot of the spirit of improv, where you have to trust the process and just be okay with what's going to happen. I do get a lot of stuff that comes at me, and some are definitely some challenges that in all of the different areas of business, I have to kind of ask myself, okay, is this urgent? Is somebody in trouble? Can we sleep on this? Can like a good meal and some water, maybe a glass of wine, and like a good night's rest let me make a better decision tomorrow? Or is there actually something really urgent, like the building's on fire or this human is on fire and we need to address this? Whenever I can take a step back and realize it's going to be okay if we wait until tomorrow to deal with this. And it's not about putting it off, it's just about letting it, giving it a minute to breathe, which is also something that, in improv, we always tell people you don't have to be saying words, 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 words the entire time in an improv show. There can be a little bit of time to breathe. So I've tried to, remember that and also ask myself, "Hey, what's the worst that's going to happen? Am I going to remember this in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 20 years? And when you look at that over like the span of your lifetime, some of the big challenges that come your way can shape you forever. And then some of them you will completely forget about next week and be like, oh, dang, I forgot that even happened. So,
You're describing the difference between urgency and importance.
yeah. And you have to know, and you have to know, and you have to be able to like silo it out and be okay with it. Because there's really not, I mean, I used to say this a lot when I'm in the comedy club, like we're not curing cancer, right? Or we're not ER surgeons. So unless the comedy emergencies that would come up were typically something with the facility, the alarm has gone off, or there was an issue. I mean, those are things that need to be addressed right now. Other than that, I think we're going to be okay.
There you go. Yeah, I think that people need to have their perspective reset sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, I Part of my past involves working for a facility that's not on many maps, and some of the things that we had to deal with could have. Well, the mission had to do with being prepared in the event of a nuclear exchange. So I I know what an emergency is, and
Yours is very different.
yeah, yeah,
If somebody tells a really bad dick joke, that's not an emergency. That's just sad for them, We'll
exactly.
get we'll get through it. So,
So I have an idea, something that we've never done on the podcast before because it's never presented itself.
okay.
But I'm wondering if you would be up for if I just spouted off a topic and punched a timer. Could you riff on that topic for 1 minute? Could you give us a little improv?
Well, I could, yes. Improv is better shared with people.
Ooh,
So I would say it would be really fun if we all did it together, because otherwise I would just be kind of doing a monologue, which would be fine. I think it would be finer if the two of you joined me and we just did a little improv scene.
I don't know.
yes.
I'm feeling that terror right now.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, okay,
I mean,
but that's what we talked about at the
you've done this
beginning.
a lot, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh shit!"
Okay, but here's the thing. Beginner's luck, first of all. Also, remember the people we talked about that were in the back of the room that were terrified? Guess what? I haven't lost anybody once in an improv workshop, and I've done it for 20 years. So, and you're sitting there in the comfort of a place that you know well. So Dwight's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, well, we probably need a little more than a minute then if we're
We
going to do
do.
that.
We do. What we could do is think about, we could just do a little improv scene together. Why not?
Okay.
I mean, remember that if you don't know the rule in improv, the number one rule in improv is yes and. And yes means I've heard what you have to say, and means I'm going to build on it. So you don't have to agree with whatever is being thrown out, but we just have to just be okay with it. It's all right that and somebody has an idea. It's not going to hurt anybody. So we could, just to make it a little bit more narrowed down, give ourselves a scenario that we're in, and then we can play these actors that are in this scenario, you know?
We will follow your lead.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm going to ask for a suggestion here. I haven't done improv virtually, and it's been probably a year since I've done improv virtually, so this is going to be really fun.
Okay.
Okay, how about a reason that three people might be celebrating something? What's a reason that we could be celebrating something? Could
Oh,
be a marriage, a divorce, a birthday,
A brisk.
a brisk. Okay, we're celebrating a brisk. All right.
okay. I don't even know what a brisk is.
Well, okay, so we can do a couple things here with this. You can not know what a brisk is, and we can just go with it, and just whatever you say is going to work, and it's going to be really fun, which is what I would prefer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I would prefer that you don't know, and that we just go with it, and that we're all at this brisk. This is what happens when you pitch an idea and I turn it back on you.
Yep, I see that. I get tongue-tied, so don't be surprised if I just sit here with
It's
this
totally
dumb look on
fine.
my
It's
face.
totally fine. All right, you want to start? Let's do it. And then whenever it feels like it's coming to an end, I'll just call scene. How does that sound? We'll
Okay.
say end scene.
Okay.
All right. You guys, thank you so much for coming. I know this is so last minute, and I know like carpool and just getting everybody and the kids and the family here. I just really appreciate you being here.
Oh, well, wouldn't miss it for the world. I've heard so many great things about how these things go down.
I wouldn't miss it for the world because I don't even know what it is. I don't know how it's going to
Oh,
go down.
I think you know how it's going to go down. I think you're just playing shy and acting like you don't know.
Me?
Everybody, yeah, you do that all the time. Remember that one time we were in college, how you acted like you did not know what somebody's 21st birthday party celebration was, and then you showed up with two bottles of champagne and you were ready to go.
Well, champagne works for just about anything.
It probably works for a brisk.
I don't know. I think you need a rather steady hand when it comes to cutting around there.
You might. I'm just saying for us in the background, we could definitely be drinking some champagne, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Chilled champagne because, you want to be brisk.
You do. And I also appreciate that you all dressed for the occasion in brisk clothes as well. So you really just like doubled down on, we're gonna have like a brisk drink, and we have these like brisk, some coats to keep us nice and warm at this brisk.
I didn't realize it was going to be that itchy, though. It's really itchy.
Well, that's also what they might be saying too during the brisk.
I'm just
I,
glad I didn't wear brisk underwear.
Well, as a spectator, it's okay for you to be wearing underwear during a brisk.
but it's probably not so great that it's this cold during that kind of a thing.
Yeah, that can be true. That's why I've got it temperature controlled inside. I don't know if you noticed, I had some heaters brought in just to kind of keep things nice and neutral and warm here. I
Oh, I'm
wanted,
concerned that's going to make the itching worse.
well, for you it might, but for, the brisky, they need it to be nice and warm. It can't be too cold.
Was the briskie, were they married to a brisket at some point in their life?
It's so funny that you ask. People say that a lot. Little too young for marriage. A little too young for marriage. If they were, though, a brisket would be a good choice.
It would be an excellent choice.
Yeah. So can I guys interest you guys in any of the hors d'oeuvres here? I've got these little like little weenies, little beanie weenies that I have to choose from. I also have pigs in a blanket,
I was
and then we
just going to ask, are there any pigs in a blanket?
there are, and then I do have a hot dog truck that's going to be here a little bit later. So we'll call scene there. Dwight, are you okay? You need a
I'm
moment?
okay.
He's
Hey,
crying.
well, yeah, you warned us about the dangers of a bad dick joke, but oh man, we were right there in it.
We were right there in it. Maddox, how
Oh
you
my God.
feeling?
Yeah, no, that was fun. I'm cracking up at him because I know him well enough to know that
He's
tears are
trying.
streaming down his face over there.
Yeah. When he was doing this, like I was like, he's such a good quiet laugher. Like how polite because I couldn't hear the sound coming through, but he wasn't muted. So I knew with this he was a little verklempt. So
But Klimt, yes, for sure.
mhm. Dwight, would you like to tell Maddox what a brisk is?
I would like to know if Maddox, you have a guess as to what it is at this point.
I have no idea, no guess whatsoever. If it's not the spouse of a brisket, I'm lost.
Okay. Well, so it's something it's going to be done for little male children for yeah like a circumcision ceremony.
Oh my gosh, I was just getting ready. This has got to be the celebration of getting losing your foreskin. Oh my
It
God.
it is. Yeah.
And they named it Brisk. I guess
Mhm.
that's better than Hack.
Totally, totally. Um, Also, can I just say this, Dwight? I will get that suggestion a lot to get because a lot of times when you're trying to do a scene and if I'm doing like corporate work or whatever, you don't want to just start out in the middle of with no inspiration. So I'll get different suggestions to take it from everything that's possible down to here.
Love
And
it.
the ask of what is a reason that people might be celebrating is something that I ask a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know that I've ever had anybody say a brisk ever. So you got me really good because I was like, we're about to do this here on this recording because I can't remember when somebody has said that. So
I love that.
kudos. You
Yes.
stumped me.
It was obscure. I had no idea.
Hmm.
Well, you don't want to see all of the things that might be swimming around in here. It
Isn't
can
that
be a little weird.
isn't that the same for all of us though?
Yes.
You know?
That was
Yeah.
great. I hope that our listeners enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yeah. So that's what happens if you ask me to just riff for a minute. We're gonna talk about a brisk for 3 minutes. So
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. I gotta say, it must be a delight to go into those rooms where you never know just how stuffed the shirts might be. And I'll bet that you can just get everybody to open up.
that's the goal. You know, when I do my work, like if it's a workshop, I like to have 3 to 4 hours minimum with the group because if I go in for 20 minutes, I mean, I've had people say, can you come do something for 20 minutes? And, my question is, what are you wanting to get out of that? Are you trying to fill the time? Or do you just want me to come in and be funny? Because that's not going to really move people to action. If you really want to see the work, it takes a little bit of time to warm up to the idea that there are some tenets in improvisation that are paramount to success in the real world, regardless of what profession you are in. And I would argue when people say, I can't, I get this all the time. People say, I can never do improv. I can never do it. Well, first of all, we just did it.
Yeah.
Okay. We did it under the guise of we are doing improv. Second of all, most of our conversations in life are not planned. Like we're not showing up every
Life
day.
is improv.
Yeah,
Right.
like you're not walking in saying, okay, let me read what I'm going to say. Hello, good morning. I'd like 2 eggs, please. I mean, that's not how life is.
Right.
We're all improvising all of the time.
Yes, absolutely. I never really thought of it like that, but yes.
I mean, think about when's the last time you read a conversation,
Uh,
Kill me, please.
right?
Just put me out of my misery.
Yeah, so we're all improvising. And I think people get nervous when they think that it needs to be funny. And so I'm not teaching people in the context of what I do now, I don't teach people to be funny. I teach them the rules of improvisation and how these tenets help them be better innovators, collaborators, and team players.
mhm.
It is funny because I put you through some fun theater exercises to show you how it can work and then teach you how this could actually work in business. So it is funny because you're doing fun games and you're laughing with each other, not at each other. And so it's always funny. It's not about teaching people to be funny. But even when we had an improv school, we weren't teaching people to be funny. We were teaching them to make a higher percentage choice. So
Yes.
taking a choice here over here is actually will end up being funnier on stage. And you have to just kind of learn that over. years and years.
Yeah, no, I can't help but take in what you're saying as just an entry point for embracing some other concepts that you might come by way of church or school, different philosophies, different ways of being.
Yeah.
What comes to mind is like energy leadership or the Buddhist Eightfold Path.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just another entry point to be able to embrace those concepts because there's a lot about tolerance and just about accepting what is, being in control of the things that you can control, and letting go of the rest.
You got to let go of a lot of it in
Mhm.
improv. So, and in life, I mean, we can't, I mean, we can really only control ourselves, and even that, we can't control all of it. So,
Yeah, that this is I'm actually like having a shift. I'm like thinking, wow, I'm envisioning this meme that says life is an improv because I never really thought of it like that. But we don't, I
we're
mean,
just
there are few
making
things
it
in life
up.
that we rehearse. When I have to have a difficult conversation with somebody, I rehearse in my mind, but when I actually get there, it's complete improv because I may not say a word that I rehearsed.
It's literally, that is the debrief I do with an exercise, what you just said. It's exactly right. How many times have you planned a conversation? You are driving somewhere or you're driving home or you're about to get on a call in 20 minutes and you're like, I'm going to give them the biz. I got this thing to say. Or, boy, here are my 7 talking points and I've got them right here. And I have practiced this over and over again. It doesn't matter how much you practice, there's another person on the other side of that conversation who's probably also been practicing if they know the conversation's coming. If it's a surprise, they don't. You cannot you can practice, 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 but if there's somebody else in this equation, which in life with all of our conversations there is, it's not going to go as planned. It may go way better, it may go worse, it just may go different. And improv is teaching you about how to be present and listen to what they have to say and not listen to respond, listen to understand. Because when you listen to understand, there's this incredible willingness to change. And so I could be super pissed at Dwight and have this whole thing prepared that I need to tell him. And I'm going to say, when I see you in December at that class day, boy, am I going to say this, 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 this. And then you show up with that wonderful smile on your face and you start talking to me. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not what I was going to say. Okay, hang on, I'm going to change, because there's somebody on the other side. And regardless if they've planned it or not, there's more than one person in that equation. And you've got to be able to be present and not worried about what you're saying, listening to what they want to say.
You're describing an energetic thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can walk up and see them in there, it just be right there. No one's even spoken yet, and just the energy that you feel coming off of them can completely alter what you thought you were going to say.
Oh my gosh. My brother that we have performed forever together. We just started taking classes together, almost 20 years ago. And obviously, we know each other well. We've kind of known each other since we were born, and we're
Mm.
close. And we still don't know what each other will say if we're performing together. We might have an idea, but you can know someone that well and still not know. And I say that, all of that, because he has a saying that he would say to me all the time and still does, and that energy is a choice. And so that shift in energy on stage in the green room before you go on, before you come into a podcast, before you walk into a meeting, or you just show up to Wendy's to order some spicy chicken nuggets, whatever that is, like that is all a choice that you're making. Even when life is really sucky, we still have that choice to think about the energy that we're bringing.
You're bumping into our one of our main components right now, which is about becoming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit of a
You get to
magical
choose who you get
segue.
to be in any
You
moment.
do. You do. It's, I love, I said dance is my kind of my first love. And of course, I love the theater and comedy specifically. I also really love music. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I always say, if I could sing, you would know me. You would know of me. You just wouldn't know me because I would try to be famous if I could sing. But I cannot sing. But I will sing and I will listen to music all the time because when I go on a morning walk, I mean, and there's so much. I will listen to almost anything, but like that can change anything. Think about like when you put on a song for just 20 seconds, that shift, like that you're becoming a different person. And it's not entirely, but like it can really shift the energy, just like a little bit
Yes.
of music or what is the thing or the things that you're doing to get your energy and get your like head and your heart and your soul in the right place before you show up that day.
I think there's a lot of life that does that. I think that our clothing does that.
Yes,
I think that you can put on a pair of sneakers and you walk one way, or you can put on a pair of high heels and you walk a totally different way.
yes,
Some of that's out of necessity, though.
sure.
Yeah, some of it, but more of it is that it's just evoking a different energy from
It
within.
is. It is.
You
Yes.
know,
I wish high heels were more comfortable because I walk and talk and carry myself so differently when I'm presenting and I'm in a tall ass pair of high heels. My favorite thing though is to take those off and go put the tennis shoes on afterwards. But it is, you're right. Even the way that we show up and when I work from home, I joke that I'm kind of like in a business mullet. So I'll wear something professional on the top, but then it looks like Adam Sandler on the bottom, like oversized basketball shorts or big sweatpants. And that's fine and comfortable, but there's something to be said about actually like putting on something that's expressive in the way that like it represents who you are when you show up too.
yes, we're both very much about that.
Yeah.
We when we go out, we're not always dressed up, but we're dressed. You know,
Which
some
is
of it's
really
artsy fartsy stuff that we've found in thrift shops,
love
and
that. I love that.
but it's about expressing who we are. You know, I got up one morning last week. Oh, it was we were on our way to Creative Mornings, so it was an
Oh, okay.
early thing,
Mhm.
and I got decked out.
Good
I
for you.
head to toe, I had on a hat, I had on jewelry, I did it all. And it was just because that was what I was feeling when I got out of bed that morning.
Good. I love that. Dwight's always dressed, I feel like, to the night. You always are just have it so pulled together. So
Oh, thank you.
no pressure when I see you again in December.
Right.
Please come dressed as a Christmas tree. No, you're right. Like it's there's so many like little choices that we can make throughout the day, and we're not always going to crush it 100%. All of that energy, as a choice is not just, it's your energy, it's the smiling, the being more positive. It's the way that you dress, the way like have you bathed recently? The little things like that can actually like have a big impact on the way you show
It's
up.
amazing what a good bath can do for somebody's energy.
And for somebody else's energy if they're in the same room with you.
Sure.
I would argue sometimes the baths and the showers are not just for me, but for others. That and a good breath mint. Oh, by the way, never turn down a breath mint. That's a rule somebody told me a long time ago. If someone offers you a mint, it probably means you might need it.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
friend, a coworker one time, this has been nearly 40 years ago, said to me one day, I've been meaning to tell you for the last couple of weeks you've had bad breath. And I was like, some fucking friend you are. Let me go around with bad breath for 2 weeks.
Oh my
I mean, I
gosh.
chewed her.
I would have too. I would have too. Oh gosh. I get nervous about that. I'm always have a big old tin of Altoids on me just because.
Yeah, I carry a little packet of Tic Tacs,
Yeah.
something that will
Something.
freshen the breath.
Freshen it up. Look where we got now. This is what happens when you don't have a list of questions. You start talking about your preferred breath mints on a podcast.
Well, these are some essential life tips. I
They
mean,
are. They
uh,
are.
if there's someone that's only been listening to whatever they could find on the internet in the basement because no one would talk to them, this might be the
This might
clue that
help.
they needed.
That is.
Exactly. I'd love to tiptoe a little bit more into the becoming
Sure.
conversation. I know that you had the comedy improv that you
Hmm.
had to close down during the pandemic.
Yes.
And so, that hadn't been that long ago.
Mm-mm.
There's been an aspect of, okay, gotta become somebody different now. And that may be what you did from the closing to here, but then there's the, okay, what's next and who do I need to become? And when I guess this is not a common conversation I'm finding. So
Okay.
when I ask this, 9 times out of 10, people, It's like they're a little kid and somebody said, "Who do you want to, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a fireman. I'm not talking about what do you want to be. I'm talking about who you want to be. So one is an internal thing, who is an internal, and what is an external. I want to be a fireman. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an artist. I want to be, so that my question is the who.
Who?
Who do you have to become? If you said, "Oh, I want to become, you know, an astronaut,"
Mhm.
who would you need to become in order to be an astronaut?
It's a wonderful question. I've stopped trying to worry about what I want to be when I grow up because I don't know. I mean, I'm still figuring it out. I'm still growing up. I'll never completely grow up. I don't know if any of us really will listen to that East Texas accent. I think what's important to me, I was talking to my best friend about this, is that I always want to be the person that shows up for the people that are important in my life and that I am loyal and that I have fun in almost anything that I do. And I don't really commit to something unless I know I can commit to it. And that's a part of who I am as opposed to what that ends up being because there, I've got this like portfolio of things I'm doing. I don't know if I'm going to be doing all of those in 2 years, 10 years, or 2 months. I don't know. It's all about me feeling like I'm in line with what I should be doing. It also needs to have some kind of element of creativity where I can express myself creatively, even though it may sound like it's not. How can I bring my unique value proposition and my point of view to those things? So that's who I want to be. I want to be the person who's always doing something that is inspired by something creative, whether or not it may not look creative, and that I am doing it in a way that honors the people that I am serving, whether it's an organization or a company or a nonprofit or it's a dinner party on a Tuesday night, and that I'm like a reliable and loyal person in people's lives. That's also a hell of a lot of fun.
What great answers. And you like really got my question. I've learned that to get good answers, you have to ask good questions.
You asked a great
You
question, and you
said
framed it so
something.
well too.
Thank you. You said something in there that I want to backtrack to because I think it's similar to things that get said a lot, but I want to call out the distinction for those
Do
that
it.
maybe didn't catch it. You said, I only want to commit to things that I know I can truly commit to. And what I hear more often than not is I'll only commit to things that I know that I can do well. And
Um,
I think there's something about that that I would love your take on that. I personally think I only commit to things I know that I can do well is a limitation. It's like I
how do you
think
know if you
that's
can do it well if you don't? I mean,
exactly.
you
There you
can't
go.
do anything well from the beginning.
No,
That's right.
Michael Jordan did not come out of the womb slam dunking and making three pointers. People, I mean, think about
if
anybody
he
who,
did, I feel really sorry for his
for his
mother.
mom, right? That's a whole nother improv scene we could do. Anybody who is really great at something or thinks they can even do something well, they didn't do it well to begin with. They were bad at it. Now, there are some people that, okay, I use sports as an analogy a lot because can resonate with that oftentimes when I'm talking about the arts and sports, which is an interesting combination. Anybody that you see in anything that they do well, they might have been more inclined. Maybe Michael Jordan is a little bit more athletic than somebody else, but he didn't know how to do this. You don't know if you're going to do it well until you try. I actually like the clunkiness of it all. I like the having the training wheels on and having to finish it. And in fact, there's this quote. I'm looking at it because it sits on the other side of my desk, and it's really long. But it's a quote from Ira Glass, who is the host of This American Life podcast and many other things. And I'll summarize it, and it's really about the creative world. But I like to tell people about it. It's really with anything that when you start something new, you have this really good idea of what it should be. Like you have your taste and you know it should be like this, but you're down here and you know you want to be here. And a lot of people stop before they get here because let's say, for example, you're learning to play the violin and you know you should sound like this and that you know it could be this because you've heard people play the violin well. and you're really bad at it. And so you keep trying, and if you stop before you get there, that's what happens. But what you need to remember is like the progress is not going to be linear, and as you continue to get better, your valley after, I don't know, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years is still so much better than the peak when you started. And it will
Yes.
eventually, you'll get to this part. So saying that you can't commit to something because you don't know if because you won't be good at it, like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
what's the if it's not interesting to you, then I would say don't commit to trying it and learning something new. But if it's something that's interesting to you, how cool is it to get through all of this and then get out on the other side? And then when you're up here where you think you should be, that's like the new starting point. So that's here, and then you get to keep going like this.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I
once
can,
again, it's a choice.
It is a choice.
it
It
is
is
a
a
choice.
choice.
And I can see maybe looking at it and deciding, I'm not willing to put that effort forward,
Yeah,
you know. But I mean, I've thought for a lot of my life that if I wanted to have a singing voice, I've sang on and off in choirs. I don't have a solo voice, but if I had wanted that, do I think I could have done that with
hmm
the help of a voice coach?
sure.
Absolutely. But I chose not to invest my time and energy in that. I found other things that called to me more than that. I'm currently painting, and it's nowhere where I'd like for it to be.
But do you love it?
I do. I'm
Then
having a
keep doing it.
blast.
Then keep
And
Yeah.
doing
yes, it's
it.
And
frustrating. It's it's
he's
it's
also
frustrating, but
experiencing that thing where your valley is definitely above where your peak was at the beginning of the summer.
do I think that at some point I will be really good at it? I do. I
Great.
do. But
Then
I didn't think I would start out that way.
but you're continuing to pursue it because it's you love it,
It
right?
just it feeds me. It's when I paint, the whole rest of the world goes away.
Then you should
Everything.
keep
Everything
painting.
goes away. It's like it is just literally me, the brush, the paints, and the surface.
I
That's
love
all that
that.
exists while I'm sitting there with brush in hand or with whatever tool in hand. Everything else goes away. And how many things in life do we have
Not a
where
lot.
everything goes away?
So when it starts not going away and becomes a chore, then maybe it's not the thing anymore. Or maybe you step back from it, but that's okay. Like that is okay. It's also I love to read, but I used to be so hell bent on finishing a book if I started it. And sometimes I'll pick up a book and be like, this is awful. I do not like this book. Or like the book club assignment for the month was some book and I'm 40 pages in and have to keep rereading it because I just don't like it. And it's not that it's a bad book, I just don't like it. And so there's no reason for me to continue. And so I think that when people say, like, to your point, that they're answering the question of, I don't want to do it unless I'm going to do it really well. I mean, if it's something new, how do you know it? I mean, I for the Leadership Arts Institute, I asked to be on a committee that I really appreciated the art form. It's dance. I don't know enough about putting together a donor and stewardship program, which is what we're doing. To me, that was interesting to try and learn that. And also, I liked the organization. And it would have been easier for me to sign up for a theater company because I know how to run the business of a theater company. And I chose this because it was interesting to me and I wanted to learn more about it. And, but I'm not good at it. I don't know. I mean, I'm learning. I don't know. I think there's just, it's creating that wrinkle in your brain when you're learning.
And it's
Yeah.
painful sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
We
a
want to
it's
be
a
good.
double-edged sword, It's like, yeah, would I love to just sit down and paint a masterpiece? I would love to, but something tells me that if it was easy, it wouldn't be nearly as gratifying.
No, all the easy stuff is it's the low hanging fruit. The stuff that's worth it is you got to sink your teeth into it.
I was
Well,
a beauty professional for 40 years,
Hmm.
and I never ever stopped learning and growing. Every time I would experience burnout, I would go back to the drawing board and put myself in classes to stretch myself and learn new techniques and things that I had never done before. And it
Love
was
it.
the way that I would infuse me and the whole business with fresh energy again.
You have to.
yeah, there's something to be said about bringing all of those other things, those other mountains that you've climbed.
Hmm.
There's there are those that maybe have been steeped in the that world of getting collecting all of the donors and getting people to to go all in to support a cause that they love. But if they only have those enthusiastic people that are at the center of it, then they can't appeal to those other groups that might be adjacent or those other people that just don't have an awareness. You know,
Right.
they don't know that they can contribute to something like that. They have no idea that it's even out there. And what a gift it is to bring all of the things that have made you who you are to make it so that you can infuse your gifts into a recipe that uh, was missing, was devoid of all the things that are in your wheelhouse.
Right. And that's all of us, right?
Hmm.
It's also what you said, Dwight, is very similar to this quote, and I'm going to get it a little bit wrong, and I can't remember who said it. And it goes something like this, where there are just so many more people out there that you are meant to know and love that you have not walked into your life yet. And so it's that idea of like learning new things and trying new things. Like you don't know until you try. It's the same thing with you haven't met everybody. You haven't met everybody you're going to know. I mean, you're going to meet people that are going to become really big parts of your life, and you're not going to meet them for days, weeks, months, years. And how cool is that to know that that is something that is a potential if you just keep showing up in life, being true to yourself.
That's
Absolutely.
huge.
Opportunities are all around us.
Hmm.
You know, I for a long time now have believed that we teach what we most need to learn.
Oh,
And
for
there is
sure.
like definitely a part of me that thinks it would be fun, even though I don't at this point have a lot of skill. I think it would be a lot of fun to teach art. I,
Do it.
we went to an art walk this past weekend,
Uh-huh.
and I walked up to a booth where there was a young woman who has was doing collage. And she mentioned that she had only been doing it for 3 months. Well, I was just kind of blown away. Not that her art was, necessarily super exciting or anything, but that she'd only been doing it for 3 months, and she'd set up a table and had all of her stuff and was showing. She was putting herself out there, putting her art out there, and she's only been doing it for 3 months. She had created little packages that she was selling that were little pre-made packages for collage, so somebody could take the
Oh,
package open and
and go
just
home.
use it to collage. And she had a board up where she had a glue stick and some cut up pieces of paper, where she was asking people that walked up to the booth if they would like to collage, pick a piece and collage it onto the board,
Oh,
which I
I
thought
love
was really,
that.
really cool. But it was a glue stick and some clippings. And
Yeah.
I said, "Is glue stick the way you collage your artwork?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Would you be open to an alternative?" And she said, "Absolutely." And so I shared with her what I know about a couple
Hmm.
of different acrylic mediums
Hmm.
that is just a whole totally different process. And I told her
Right.
why it would be good, and gave her some tips on how to do it. But it was so cool to be in the early stages of my own art and to see somebody that's just gotten started and to know that I already had something worthy of sharing. And she was just soaking it up like a sponge, going, "Oh my God, I love what you're telling me. I can't wait to try this."
I
And
think it's the people who are earlier in sometime. I mean, like with that have they're going to look at it from a different way, right?
Absolutely.
There's something to be said about hiring an expert, and having somebody who's done it for years, but also like it doesn't mean that you can't teach something.
cool, there's always somebody that knows less than I do.
Yeah, and there's always somebody who knows more.
Yeah, and I would say that the mark of someone that's really skilled when it comes to teaching anything is as a master, if they can find someone who maybe is just learning, you know,
Yeah.
they're just cementing the skill. They've been closer to the mistakes. They're more of a peer to those who are coming
Mhm.
along. They have the recent memory of what it was to struggle and they can relate it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then your most skilled teacher is going to leverage those who have just learned.
Yeah, that's great.
I hadn't really thought about it, but I'm in several artist Facebook groups, and
Hmm.
people are always posting dilemmas with their art, or
Hmm.
questions, or I don't understand how this works, or what do I need to be able to do this? And I find myself drawn and, piping it. I'm not really posting anything right now, but
Okay.
I'm commenting on other people's posts because I'll go, oh, I know the answer to that. Or
It's
I,
great.
I tried something that really worked really, really well. Let me tell you what I did. And that's fun to me.
Also, those people aren't going to check your credentials. The fact that you took the time to do that, you're not trying to screw them over. I mean, like intentionally in this group, they're going to listen to you. They're like, oh, great. This guy's got something to offer. This is great. Nobody's going to go double check and see like where your last gallery opening was or what. I mean, like where
Nope.
if you have a MFA from somewhere, nobody's looking at
They
that.
don't care. All they want is the answer or to this is to solve the problem that they were up against
Yeah.
or the resource that they were looking for.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think you should keep doing art and you should start teaching art. I'll take a
Yeah.
class.
I'm considering it. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I'm also kind of thinking about something that looks a little bit like art therapy, except it would be more like art coaching because
Hmm.
I'm a coach, not a therapist.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Big difference. It's good
So,
that you know that too.
yeah, 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 yes, it is. Uh, Amanda, what's next for you?
Well, I did get a roasted chicken at the store last night, so I'm probably going to eat that for lunch. So specifically that and a little bag salad, try to keep
Oh
it
my
light before Thanksgiving.
gosh,
So that's specifically what is
you are
next.
too funny.
Sorry, that was easy. That was an easy one. You know, um, I'm going to keep kind of trucking along with what I'm doing. I love the speaking and the training that I'm doing. Um, I'm starting to work on a writing project with a couple of people that I just adore, and I think it's going to be really fun. So hopefully something will come to fruition. We're going to work on we're trying to write a pilot for a show, and I've written a couple of those, and those are really fun to do. So I'm excited to do that. Yeah, I've been working on like creatively. Like I love to mix things up at the house a lot. So I saw this meme on like maybe it's like Instagram or TikTok or something that said, "What is it about women that wake up on a Saturday morning and decide they have to completely remodel the kitchen by the end of the day?" And that is me. So I'm always like moving things around and trying to create and just like make the space a fun place to be. So yeah, those are the things I'm doing. I'm gonna sell some homes, which is, it's a fun thing to do, but I also really love design and architecture and finding a gem for somebody that really makes sense for them. So like that's a really fun process for me because it's not just about the transaction of the buying and the selling of the home. Like I truly do love homes and architecture. So yeah,
You are on it. I mean, all the things that you've done and all the things you're doing, and it's just like focus and go.
yeah.
You're, it's like, wow.
Yeah, but I also just like fell asleep on the couch last night with some wine watching old episodes of The West Wing. So, like it's gonna it
There's a
comes and
human
goes.
side, yes.
Yeah, it comes and goes. Yeah, and then my sister-in-law and I never really talk about it. I do it on my Instagram, but I never talk about it like on LinkedIn or anything. We have a podcast and it's wildly inappropriate, but we watch television shows and we kind of recap them, but more just sort of like review them. And so she is also a comedian, and so we have a lot of fun. And she lives in Pennsylvania, so it's a great way for us to continue to connect. So we're going to figure out kind of what's next for that. But we've been doing it for a couple of years. It's really fun. And we just, we recapped the entire series of Suits, the television show Suits that was out 10 years ago. And they kind of had a resurgence. And then once we were done recapping that, we've been watching all kinds of stuff. So she got me watching the Kim Kardashian show, All's Fair. Oh, so we watched that. I mean, we watched The Diplomat. It's all really fun, and I love. It's hard for me to watch television and film without looking at like the formatting and the story and the cinematography beyond just for pure enjoyment. But we have a lot of fun doing that. So
Do you realize how much you and Dwight have in common?
I guess not. Are we the same person, Dwight?
Oh my gosh, he has how many calendars do you have that are all synced?
Yeah, I have the nightmare of juggling calendars, and
Hmm.
it's I,
I've missed a couple of things because of it. You got to be careful.
yeah, it
He
is
has
kind of a
it
real fear for
down
me.
though. I mean, he maps out everything in advance and he gets a little pissy if I move his cheese.
Rightfully so. I'd be pissy too. What kind of cheese is it you're moving? Because depends on what kind of cheese, because I love cheese.
I love cheese too. He's vegan. He does not love cheese, but if you
Okay.
move his
If you
cheese,
move his cheese,
he
then
is
he's pissed.
unhappy.
He all of a sudden decides he likes it and he's into dairy again. Okay, I get it.
Well, and you know, you don't have to be so uh, I don't know, on the hush. Like Only Show Fans is the name of that
It
podcast.
is. Yeah, it's called Only Show Fans. Because it was only Suits fans is what because we were recapping Suits and we just thought it'd be funny because OnlyFans has such a, is out in the world and when you Google Only Show Fans, it's just a bunch of OnlyFans stuff that comes up. So we think that that's funny anyways. And so, it was a little bit of it. Originally, the idea was like only and then show fans, so that you couldn't see it. But yeah, it's just funny. But we talk about shows. It's silly. But we have fun doing it. It's not one of those things where like that's my business or anything. It's just a fun creative outlet and we enjoy doing it. The editing is so awful to do and sometimes our audio sounds great and sometimes it sounds like a 2-year-old was putting together the audio. So, but we still have fun doing it and that's it doesn't all have to be a business or perfect. It can, it's always a process in my opinion.
Yep. At the end of the day, it's whatever brings you joy
Yeah, and people are like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Cause it's fun."
because we
There you
So
go.
can.
I can. I like TV. I love my sister-in-law. It's fun. We have fun doing it.
Perfect.
When we don't have fun doing it or it becomes too much of a burden, we won't do it anymore. Turns out there's a lot of TV to watch. So we're having fun doing it.
And there will only be more.
There'll only be more.
Yes. Well, this has simply been delightful.
This has been so great. Thank you guys for improvising with me. That was really fun.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you got to learn about a brisk today.
I'm forever changed.
You are. You're going to remember. Here's the thing. Now, it's like whenever you learn a new word or you're not shopping for a red car and then all of a sudden there's 20 red cars on the road everywhere you go. The word brisk is going to come up a lot for you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Every time somebody says, wow, it's kind of brisk out here, I'm going to
And I'm
burst
like,
into laughter and they're not,
yes.
not going to know why.
Be like, that word means more than just one word, more than one thing. You got to be careful with it. So,
Well, this has been a delight.
y'all are a delight. Thank you. This has been, I was like, this is going to be the highlight of my week. And so I wanted to get it on a week where I didn't have a ton, like other commitments because I wanted to just sit down and chat and have fun with you guys. And I did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.